All right, make us smarter here. And as you do, you've got a confession.
Well, this is, this could go anywhere again. It's a team defence clip, but it's based on the moment that you need to start defending. And I stole this from Horse.
Right.
And I just hope to God he didn't make this up. I hope he stole it from someone else. So 2014, we were playing Sydney, and they were just so good at locking the ball in the front half, and we just dug real deep on the communication from the back line. And Horse, please don't tell me that you've made this up yourself, because I think every club sort of copied Sydney from 2013-14 onwards.
Simmo, this is completely original, and something that I come up with just in the dead of night one night, and concentrated on getting it right. And I feel very honoured.
Yeah, and it's not going to blow you away, by the way. It's
better.
It's not. And this is we'll just roll the vision now, and this is we call this the moment, and every club calls it something different. From a spectator's point of view, you just watch the vision, and it's just a wingman off the line. Getting good shape handball, Bont gets involved, activated defender there who I think he spots a midfielder spreading from the centre bounce. So there's nothing here that's really going to blow you away. But this is what you see on TV. And we've heard coaches this year, especially Carlton and Melbourne, about their offence and how they can get better. And both of those coaches have lent on defence. And this is what they'd look at, and this is what they'd present on Monday. So there's good forward pressure here. You see a bit of a rush kick from the Giants. Turnover, and then Bont just does what Bont does. It's a tremendous knock-on to advantage, and Johansson, who started the play, ends up kicking the goal. So that's a great bit of play. So when you break down the vision behind the goals, and this is what we look at, you look at Johansson here behind the play. He's on green. It doesn't really matter who he's on. The Doggies don't really have lockdown positions and who they play on. They're in offence now. They're in activation point where they're trying to get the ball. They're trying to get some inside 50 dominance. So everyone's in offence. But the moment this gets to this point here, this is the moment. This is the moment they can't affect offence anymore, and they need to start thinking about defence, where their man is, how they squeeze up the ground, how they protect this entry. So if you let it go, and this is not new, this is probably 10 or 12 years old, you'll see some backmen there starting to communicate about locating defenders, trying to really squeeze the ground, and really good communication. Sometimes you're in front of your men, sometimes you're behind your men. So they're in the location mode while that contest is going on. This is why forward half pressure is so important. While this pressure's on, they've got time to set up. The guys on the right, there's 3 GWS players, forwards inside the Bulldogs forward 50. So the defenders have gone all the way with them to really crunch the ground. I think Porter the best at it at the moment. But on the left-hand side, if you pause it there, Johansson said, I'm not going into this. So this is the skinny side. I'm going to hold and just give a bit of a layer of defence behind the skinny side of the ground. So on the right-hand side is really one-on-one, press the ground. The left-hand side is a bit of protection, and the turnover occurs because of the pressure they've put on, and then the knock-on goes to Johansson, who's actually held his distance and peeled off his man who's there. So it's a really good indication. This is what you'd show on a Monday, not how good was our ball movement, our connection. It's how good was our team defence and how we defended behind that entry. We got another turnover and we scored off that turnover. So, Horse, that's taking your playbook, mate, but that's how most teams do it now.
No, you described it well, Simmo, and there'd be no question that when you're watching the ball, that the coach's attention is always at training, and certainly in our case was at training or behind the goals with what's happening off the ball and how organised you were in those moments that you called, and particularly the difference between the open side or the fat side, with the players wanting to get an exit, the opposition players wanting to get an exit, closing those exits down, versus the ability of Johansson to be able to hover in a certain spot, to be able to be there for a rush turnover if that ball came out, to then have a repeat entry or shot a goal. So it's exactly the way you described it. Off the ball vision is so important for coaches.
Terrific. All right, John, you're going to have to undo about 2 more buttons before you go see Dennis Lilly. It's one thing to have this, but you've got to have this
and
as well.
And some chest hair when you go Australia.
Well, I wouldn't do it to you, Jared and Gaz.
John Longmire, Adam Simpson, our coaches here on 360. Gary Ayres is about to join us. There's centenary for the Hawks, and don't they have plenty to celebrate the shared heritage of fan Gary and player Gary with Gary Ayres next.